Hi, this is Tom Brady, and lesson 8 will be offers. So we went over it in forms. I'll just go over it again here. A typical offer sheet will have the date, purchaser's name, seller's name, property address, MLS number. Under the terms and conditions, it'll have the purchase price, down payment at contract, and cash at closing, which is the rest of the down payment. So if you're putting 80,000 down, 20% on a $400,000 house, you might put 10,000 down on contract and then 70 cash at closing for the total down payment. Then there'll be the amount of the mortgage, and then there'll be contingencies. Usually it's inspection. The appraisal will be in the contract. If you have to sell your house, if you need to sell a house to buy, you're going to need to be listed and close to or in contract for anyone to take your offers seriously. All right, that's just the way it is. The offer sheet will generally say the percentage that your agent would like to get from the seller. If you go to the other lessons, you'll find out you might be on the hook for that these days. All right, I'll have commission to your agent. It'll have approximate date of the contract, which is usually about 10 business days. It'll have a proposed closing date, but the lawyers will change that, but that's usually 60 to 90 days. All right. The inspection is usually 3 to 5 business days. You want to get that done quick. When you get an accepted offer, you don't have anything. So you want to get the inspection done. You want to get into contract. The seller's attorney will draw up the contract, send it to your lawyer. Your lawyer will call you in. You'll go in and sign. You'll give them the earnest money that's due on contract. And then it'll go back to the seller. You're not in contract until the seller signs. Okay, very important to know. The agents should still be showing the house until the seller signs. So you could still get beat out. All right, the rest of the offer sheet will be the attorneys for the purchaser, attorney for seller, and the real estate listing agency and the real estate seller's agency, as well as the listing and selling agent's information. All right, offers are non-binding, but never sign an offer sheet. Okay, we don't want them to think it's binding. So if you want to change your mind, you can change your mind. Putting in multiple offers is a good strategy if you find houses that you like. All right, some people don't care for it, but you have to look out for yourself. In some situations, you may see 2, 3 houses that you really like. Nothing wrong with putting offers on all of them and see who'll give you the best deal. All right, let's see. It's not always the highest offer. Sometimes it's the terms. Sometimes people need a closing date that's extended, or they need to lease back the house after closing. And if you're flexible, even though you're not the highest offer, you might still get it. Also, with high offers, some people want to offer over asking price, but is that really money? If you don't waive the appraisal contingency in a contract, which I don't suggest that you do, then if it doesn't appraise, you'd be able to either walk away, the seller could drop the price, you could put more money in, or you could meet in the middle with the seller. But waiving the appraisal contingency can be dangerous, so you want to be careful with that. All right, but that does, if say you waive the appraisal contingency for 10,000, so if it appraises at 450, you agree to do 460, you'd have to pay the difference. All right, so you want to be careful with that. Inspections, you can inspect for informational purposes only if you want. That means you're not going to ask for anything after the inspection. A lot of houses that investors sell are going to be as is. They're not going to do anything. All right, earnest money, the more earnest money you put down, the stronger the offer technically. What you want to see, you want to have different offers for different properties. If a property's been on the market 300 days with 5 price drops, you want to go low and come up higher. If it just got listed, you don't want to start too low because you won't be in the game at all. All right, if you have a local lender, it helps. If I have a listing and I see a local lender that I know closes deals, I'm going to give that a little more credence than a lender I never heard of. All right. Personal letters, they can help sometimes if it's a family's home. They've lived there a long time. They're attached to it. But in general, I don't think they hold much sway. It's more about the green money. All right, the rapport with the listing agent is important. The listing agent is going to want an easy deal. So if your agent is very gruff or very difficult to deal with, they might shy away from your offer. So keep that in mind. A lot of times they're going to ask for the last best offers. And sometimes you're bidding against yourself because they can intimate that they have a few offers when they might only have your offer. So you have to be careful with last best. You have to decide what the house is worth to you, what you're comfortable paying, and a year from now, will you be happy with that price? All right, let's see. New construction, you have added costs. When in new construction, you're going to pay some extra. You'll pay the transfer fee. You might pay the water hookup. You'll have more fees. Also, if it's customized after the contract, you could add a lot of money. So you want to be careful with new construction. If it's a divorce sale, that can be difficult. Has a lot of difficulties, so I'll just leave that there. Estates, sometimes they're slow to make decisions. Foreclosures, you can take a while to get a decision back, or people can overbid it, so you want to be really careful with foreclosures. Short sales in general, they need to get in contract to get a number from the bank that the bank will accept. So a lot of times a short sale, they're just going to put it out there at a low price, get somebody into contract, and they're kind of like a guinea pig that they'll find out what the bank will take. Then the bank will come back, either counter, accept, or just outright reject. If they counter and it's higher than you want to go and you walk away, then the agent has what usually is a pre-approved short sale for a period of time. They know what number the bank will take. So that's much more likely to go through than a non-pre-approved short sale. All right, and that's pretty much it on offers. Don't take rejections personally. As I said in another video, some people are more motivated and the market value can be different for them. If they need a certain block, paying $20,000, $30,000 more than you might be still within market value for them because they have to have that block. Whereas you, who can have any block, you don't need it, you'll pay what the market average is. So some people do overpay for things, but it's not really overpaying for them depending on their situation. All right, and that is about it for offers, and I will see you in lesson 9. Thank you.